right, 25th. This is going to be fun. It's the AnjaAfreeca that got me trying all kinds of goodies.
This is.
Oh, I did a video. This is not. I'm trying to do a thumbnail covering.
Yes.
And when I do my videos, I'll be like,
cold.
I'm like,
oh, you know what? I need to get that. I still have this mic on. You want me to keep this on?
You can keep it on because I'm going to show you what
All
the
of a
difference.
sudden, I just got cold.
So, Assalamu alaikum, family. Thank you for joining part 2 of this exclusive interview with AnjaAfreeca. I hope you enjoy it. Also, don't forget to go over to my Instagram page, Global Green Book. Check the post, AnjaAfreeca, to get an exclusive interview on there. And guess what, family? Yes, I finally did it. I got my new black forum up and running. So check out the Global Green Book, because there's going to be a lot of information on there that I just can't put on here. You know what it is. You know what the deal is. Enjoy. We are professional, y'all. We got mics, all that good stuff. Okay, so I have last couple of questions for you. I'm getting these from my email. Was this your first time in Africa? No. So where have you been before this trip?
I was in Senegal 26 years ago.
You had a little bit of experience with that.
I did. I was there 26 years ago. I went with an African dance troupe, and we did dancing and drumming. I was there for 30 days, stayed in the village. There was no running water, no electricity, no television. But
you went grassroots.
It was a blast. I had an amazing time.
Nice.
Yeah, we had to get water from the well. We had to use, I don't know if you would call them outhouses. We probably would call that in the States. We would call them outhouses or something. But there was like one area that you had to go to use the restroom. No transportation. So we were just in the village. And it looks like Amman wants something.
As it is a cash city, how did you manage to navigate with transportation, taxis, and not get to pay high prices?
I generally just would kind of question, if they gave me a price, if they said 200, I was like, okay. No, gotta give me a better price.
Did you have an idea before what the prices were like?
I did, because I traveled, like when I was in Gambia, I traveled with the host, the host of my guest house. She's affiliated with the Sankofa Repat House in Ghana. So they have a location in Gambia.
Okay.
So when I traveled with her in the taxis on the Gele, which is the van, where everyone's all squeezed in. So if there's like 3 people on the seat, trust and know it's going to be 5 people on the seat. And that van is not going to leave the station until it's full. So when we would get on there, I would hear her negotiating, and she'd be saying, what was the price? So I knew from our house to Turntable, for example, it was 10 dalasi.
And about how
right?
The distance, about how long of a distance would that be or minutes, or how long of a ride was it?
I would say, time wise, I'd say about 10-15 minute ride would be like 8 to 10 dalasi was probably the rate. And because it's so low, because when you think about the exchange rate, you might even want to just give them extra money, because these brothers hustle, they're jumping on and off the van, they leaning out the van, calling people, some of them riding on the back. It's a dangerous job. So you may want to give them extra, because you're really not paying a lot.
So I'm kind of curious for myself. When you were in Ghana, when you stayed at Sister Ya's compound, she was located where?
Sister Ya was in, she's close to Accra, say like Medina or Temdi, which I think are like two little separate towns. I just know she's only like maybe half an hour or less from the airport.
Okay, so for like a half hour ride from her house to the airport in Ghana, like kind of the charge for like would go for a ride.
I want to say like $20 or less. Yeah, it wasn't that much.
You would convert it into CDs in Ghana.
Yeah. But you do your exchange at the airport. As soon as you come in, they have lots of places for you to exchange. In the Gambia, and I don't recall this in Sierra Leone and Ghana.
Okay.
But in Gambia, they have where they do a private taxi, which is where you pay more expensive and you're the only one in the taxi. And then they have a local taxi where you're paying a local rate. So you might, in a private taxi, you might pay $100.
Okay.
In a local taxi, you're almost paying close to the rate of the vans, right? Because they can fit 5 or 6 people in the car. Right. So then you're paying that local rate.
Okay.
So just to know the difference, you need to ask. And they always say before you get in any taxi, ask the price, right? Check the price with them, so that you're not being overcharged or you feel like they told you one thing and now it's something different.
How many modes of transportation is it? It's the chocho?
It's so different because they call them different things in different places. So the trotro was like the vans in Ghana. Okay. But the gele gele is like the van in Gambia.
Okay.
I think I'm saying that correctly.
Okay.
And then you have the taxis. So, I get in and with my New York accent, I'm like a cab. And they're like, a what? Like, they don't know what a cab is. Don't say cab. Taxi is what they call it. And the taxis are like some old school, I want to say Mercedes-Benz.
I know, I saw
that. And they're painted green and yellow. Yeah. They're painted yellow and green.
Yeah, that's the oddest thing. You see all these Benzes as, working
taxis,
vehicles.
Yeah. KK. The KK is the one where the drivers, it's just a single little cab and the driver's up front. And then there's a cab in the back that can sit like 2 people. So it looks almost like one of those little, something for a golf course.
Like I see all the time when you, like in India.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That's the KK. That's what that is. Okay. And they have very few of those in Gambia. I didn't see a lot of them, but they definitely have them in Sierra Leone. It's very popular.
I would say that sounds like that's something popular in Sierra Leone.
It is very popular there. It's how people get around. And a lot of people depend on it, and motorcycles. Like, don't forget the motorbikes.
Yeah. Did you get on your motorbikes?
I did get on a motorbike in Sierra Leone because Chief Fode and his wife said, go with the sister to find the nearest bank. And of course, I'm the last one on because I'm not going to sit between the 2 men. In my mind, this is inappropriate, right? And the wind's blowing and I'm comfortable.
She's lucky she little. She lucky she little.
Listen, that seat is pretty big.
My big butt ain't doing that.
No, let me tell you, there is room on that seat. I've seen some sisters on there. These folks ride these motorcycles and they carrying planks of wood, pipes. I've seen folks carrying a satellite dish.
Stop playing.
Listen, a satellite dish in between the person and the driver. I saw somebody else with buckets, like your laundry bucket to wash, in between them and the driver. So I am amazed at the things that they make happen on these bikes.
Yeah, that.
And let's not forget bicycles.
Yeah.
Bicycles are popular.
I've seen some things on bikes. I've seen people carry like stacks of long pieces of wood on the bicycle. I'm like, how?
And even on the bicycle, I saw this tiny bike and 2 people were on the bike. The little boy was crunched down with his legs over the handlebars, right in the little front part, and the man was behind pedaling. And I done seen it all now. And then there's donkeys with carts. We're not riding those, but they are slowing down traffic. Donkeys with carts. Let's not forget that. And people get mad and they move to the side and let the traffic go by. And then you got the cows. They part of the traffic too. You never know when a herd of cows gonna come across the road.
So definitely when you're doing these rides, you need cash.
Absolutely, because they're not taking credit cards. And you want to have smaller bills because if you're doing, you don't want to try to hand him $100 Jalasi,
So you need to
when
have
the rod is like 8 to 10. You want to have some of those smaller bills with you.
Like one. And did you do any Ubers or Lyft or anything like that while you was over there?
No.
Because I know when I was in Ghana, that's what I did. I did Lyfts the whole time.
It was an option, but you know, I had met this brother.
Ubers. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an option because I think there may be an African version of that. I don't remember the name of it, but I didn't get to use that. But Sister Ya told me about that option. Okay. What happened for me was that this brother from Cape Coast, I was going out there to look at property. His name is Eric from Furtado TV, Fatodo. Shows amazing real estate. I was meeting him in Cape Coast.
I think I saw that video.
The properties were amazing. 2 bedrooms for like $120 a month. Brand new houses that were 2 bedrooms. Really nice. Okay. So this brother, you know, he took us to Mama Africa. We went there. We had a full day. He introduced me to his cousin. His cousin was the driver that actually came to the house to get me, to take me to the VIP bus, kind of like our version of Greyhound, in order for me to go meet him like at his location. So once I used his cousin, I saw how honest he was with the prices. He would just come and stay the whole day while we did our running around.
So do you find it's important to have a personal driver?
Absolutely. If you think about the Coming to Africa film, and the driver was like, I will stay the whole day, whatever
guys,
you need.
It's Coming to Africa by, what is it, Happy Film. Let me go get it.
HAPI.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
So that's what she's referring to.
Yes.
You know, in Ghana, we did have like our personal driver for the whole trip.
And it's important because, you know, again, we talk about, you know, not moving as an individual, but moving collectively and making those connections on a continent. It's really important because, they're going to tell you where you're going and how much you should be paying and where you can get the best prices for things. And sometimes you will find that your driver's not just your driver, but they're like your personal assistant.
Exactly.
You know, they're like your tour guide. They're your negotiator, your mediator.
Protector.
Absolutely. If that's necessary. They step in. They do.
They do.
So they deserve the tips and proper payment, you know.
And let me tell you, after an end of our trip, we definitely tipped our driver so well he started crying. Because he was like, you just don't know how
much it means to me.
And because when he saw the amount of money that we gave him, because we basically gave him what we had left in our pockets. You know, so they definitely appreciate that, and they will remember you.
They do. And you know, it's funny you said that because our driver was so appreciative. When we left the first time, we thought we were saying goodbye when we went to Kumasi. So I gave him not much, maybe $60 or $70 or something like that. And this was in you know, of course, in Ghana CDs. So we said goodbye. So when we came back and we missed our flight, we had to call him. So he came back and he was showing me his new iPhone that he bought, that he was able to get a repair and trade the other one in, and the money we gave him helped him get his new phone. And he was so proud to be able to show us that he got this new phone, you know.
Yes.
And he would call us even after we left. He would check on us in the mornings. He'd be like, good morning, hope you're having a good day, I hope you all are safe, please let me know when you reach safe. And he would do that. Like every other day we'd get a message from him. And I had that experience. I still have drivers now that call here. You know, they text me in the States and they're like, how are you? When are you coming back? We miss you, you know, that sort of thing. So it's interesting once you get that connection with them.
Make that connection. Make that connection. It's so important.
Absolutely.
So this is my next question. People were like, I had some sisters, they were like, ask her this. So how did the test time work when you are crossing in different time zones with layovers? I've had a couple of conversations with this.
Yeah, and you know, I can't even tell you that the time differences mattered, or the layovers. Their thing is it has to be 72 hours within your flight, and that was consistent for every country that I went to. So what I will say, and this is the tricky part, when they tell you 72 hours, don't think that you can go 48 hours.
Right.
Because it's within a 72-hour frame. They tell you 72 hours because sometimes it will take 72 hours to get your results back. So you need to go, when you know you're on that 3 days before you leave, that day 3 or day 1 if you
probably first thing in the morning.
Absolutely. Because when I went, they didn't have my test ready.
So when you get your test, because this is something that another sister had brought to my attention, she was like, when you get your test, when you get on the flight, you gotta be mindful of those layovers. She was like, do not get anything over 6 hours. Did you have any layovers where you had to worry about your test in between switching from one plane to the next?
The only flight that I had that was that long, it was 8 hours and 45 minutes. That was coming back from Gambia. We were laid over in Casablanca, Morocco for 8 hours and 45 minutes. And then we were heading into the States. But at that time, the States didn't require
because you're an
the
American
PCR test.
You're an American citizen.
But now, after January, 21st? 15th. After January 15th, they're supposed to be requiring that you have a COVID test
to come back home.
So yeah, it is new. They just talked about it, and I don't know if that means you can just show them your COVID test result, or they're going to want you to show the COVID test result and test.
So you're probably, when you come home, when you get off the plane, you got to take a COVID test for them to let you back in the country. They're going to either hit your insurance company or bill you if you don't have them. You're
haven't seen. Citizen. Let me tell you, I wasn't able to get any of our COVID tests with insurance. Because when you need it within that particular time frame, your places that have insurance are not going to cover that because they can't accommodate you because they're sending this stuff out to labs. At least that was my experience in PA.
And what was it's the PCR.
Oh, see, here's the thing. Depending on what country you go to, the test is different.
Okay.
When we went to Sierra Leone, that was the nasal PCR test, right? When we arrived in Sierra Leone, wait, let me go back. I'm sorry. When we went to Ghana, because it was Ghana first, it was the nasal test. When we left Ghana, that was also the nasal test. Mind you, you're paying for it each time, right? So
it was like $150, right?
And then, mind you, I'm paying for myself and Amon, so we're talking $600 now, right? Then we arrive in Sierra Leone, and they do the nasal test, and they prick your finger. That thing hurt. They prick your finger, they squeeze it, they get the little sample of blood, they drop that as well as the nasal Q-tip in a plastic bag.
And is that one $150 as well?
No, that was like $80, I believe. It was $80 each.
It's cheaper and they do more.
Yes, that was $80 each.
It sounds like a racket to me.
Sierra Leone again, they do the nasal. We're going to Gambia. We arrive in the Gambia, and they didn't even ask for they asked for our test results, but they did not do a test when we arrived in Gambia. They just asked for the results. They checked your temperature, gave you some hand sanitizer, sent you on your way, right? Okay. But they had that $20 fee for their airport tax that people were pissed off about because no one knew.
Okay, so there's an airport tax when you land.
When you arrive and when you leave. $20.
Okay,
so that's $1,000.
Okay.
$1,000.
And it has to be cash.
Yes. No cards.
No cards.
No cards, because we arrived in Gambia. The visa station did not take cards.
So you have to.
And the COVID station did not take cards. Cash.
So when you were leaving Sierra Leone to go to Gambia, did you have to exchange your money in Sierra Leone for Gambian money? Or you didn't do that?
I did. I still had money from Sierra Leone when I arrived in Gambia. So we found a place that took took Sierra Leone, and Leones is what it's called. They took that money. But of course, I had to take like a little loss, maybe 50 cents. Well, because I was in Gambia now, and their thing was, we don't need Sierra Leone money. So I had to find somebody that did an international exchange. And of course, he tried to give me the lowest rate. And when I said, forget it, I'll just go someplace else, then he chased us down. Please come back. Okay, I'll be fair. Because we were telling him the rate was 5. He was telling us the rate was 3. When we left, then we got him to like $4.50.
So here we go with the negotiating. You have to negotiate. Literally, I don't care what part of Africa, whether it's a store, it seems like a restaurant, even the airport, you have to get your negotiating skills up to par. If you don't like to negotiate, you're going to be in problem
because you'll be paying the highest price. It's not even anything to get mad at. When they give you a price, just be like, no. Now, don't get me wrong. You cannot negotiate in a store or a museum. Like, the price is the price, right? Mm-hmm. But you can ask, like, do you have anything on sale, or do you have anything less? But when you're dealing with the taxis and different things like that, you need to take care of that.
Yeah, think of it like an auction here. In the auction here, they start at the highest price.
Yes.
And you think with the highest price that you want to pay, and then you go lower than what you want to pay. We're going to teach you some negotiating skill, okay?
Yeah.
Because people go over there talking about, they scamming me, they try. No, that's what they do over there. And so you start here, they start here, and then you all try to meet here, and you kind of want to get them here so you can still save some money. But even if you might get somewhere within here, you're doing good.
And I'll say also, like, be considerate of the artists and the, like, people that have stands, farmers and stuff like that. How much negotiating do you really want to do with someone that you know you're getting a good price from? You know, these are farmers and artists that don't really, tourist season is not active. So it's kind of like, you know, look out for them if you can. I don't generally negotiate with them too much. I assume they're going to give me a fair price. Yeah, and I'll give them a little extra, hold the change. And I make sure if they give me, I may negotiate at first, but if I see their fruit is really good, then I keep using that same stand, and I'll give them what they ask for.
Yeah, because what I do is I put myself on daily budgets.
Yes.
Did you do that?
I tried. I basically was like, if I'm buying food, I'm spending local prices. Like, that was it. You know, if I can buy 2 meals for $75 Dalasi each, so $150 Dalasi, then that's what we're going to eat. I'm not going to go someplace that's charging like $400 for one plate. Even though that's still like around $10 or less.
But if you can go less, why not?
I can get a whole meal for this price, and I'm getting local food that is made well.
I was averaging between me and my 3 children, my 2 children, and I said 3 children, my 2 children and my husband. I was averaging like $3 a day for produce to cook.
Yeah. Now, see, I wasn't cooking, of course, because we could have, I guess, in the guest houses where we stayed, but it was more inconvenient to try to get the groceries, get them home. A lot of times we were out, and it was just easier to buy street food. Yeah, and I eat street food. Everybody eats street food. So
how was the trip to the market and bartering with vendors? And did they look at you as a foreigner?
I'm pretty sure they did. You know, because it's obvious that we're foreigners. But when they see you know the foods, or you know any little bit of the language, when you're asking for things, or you know what you're talking about, it's a different vibe. You know,
like oh, this sister, she tried to speak the language. Oh, you're my, like that. Versus you're kind of like, what? No, you know, English.
Yeah, I didn't really get too much of that. I didn't have anyone like really trying to correct me. I basically was just kind of pointing and stuff, getting prices. They would tell me, and there were, I might have ran into one woman who just really did not want to be bothered trying to speak. She was selling food. She's selling hot food, and I'm trying to find out what she has on the menu. And homegirl is like not talking to me. Like, she won't even look at me. She's talking to the guy that was with us. And I said, you know what? If that's how she acts, she can't fix a plate of food for me. Like, now I don't trust you, because what you gonna do to my food? You know
how much U.S. currency do you think someone needs for a 3-week trip?
You know, I'm probably not the best person to ask, because, you know, I haven't even told, like, I don't even think I mentioned this really on my channel. When I left, I was expecting some money to come in that hadn't arrived yet. So when I left the States, I did a video on how much our airline tickets cost from place to place, but I left with like $830 in my pocket. I left with like $800, and I was just kind of stretching it the best I could. And when my money came in, of course, there I am now trying to access it from Western Union and the bank, and that was drama in itself. Trying to access it from my accounts, because sometimes machines don't have cash.
Right.
Or if you go to Western Union and you don't pick it up within that 5-day time frame, they put a block on your money. Yeah. So that happened. They were like, you didn't pick it up, so we sent it back. And now the person is trying to explain why they're sending it to Africa. How long have they known you? What is the relationship? Like, it's a whole thing. It is best to go with your money in hand if you can. She's hooking me up to the mic. She's such a professional, I tell you.
I stayed 4 weeks in Ethiopia, and I had $400.
But how long ago was that?
It was a long time ago.
I was gonna say, like I said, I only took 800 or 900, but I spent about, let me see, total 4,000. Yeah, about 4,000 or 5,000. I would say I spent total trip, because don't forget all the COVID tests. That was about 900 right there, if not more. Right
now, when I went to Ghana this last time. But that included everything: my air flights, my visas.
Oh well, then if that's the case,
I spent about I don't know, 4,000 for the whole everything. Like, you know,
I'm a double that, because our airfares together, Amon and I together, along with our COVID testing, I'm staying at guest houses, so that was about $35 a night. So I'm gonna say about 10,000 total airfare. Where we stayed, and that wasn't planned in my mind. I was just pulling money out the air, quite honestly, and then paying for the car when we got back to the airport.
So I think it all depends, because when I went to Ethiopia, because that's the longest time I stayed on the continent, it was in 2008. Now, I spent about the same amount of money back then, $10,000, but back then, tickets for one person was about $1,400. So I had to pay 3 tickets for that amount.
Yeah, see, now tickets for one person is like $2,100 round trip for one. Now, I was able to, what I did was I booked our flights one way each country we went to. I didn't do it round trip. So I didn't even take the same airline in that I took back home. I went in on British Airways, which was excellent. Good food, service. Coming back, it was Air Morocco.
Air Morocco. So which one did you prefer, Air Morocco or British Airways?
I'm going to say British Airways. Yeah, British Airways. Air Morocco, they have a little air about them. They seem to think that they're not in Africa, and they speak a lot of French, and I speak a little bit of French.
Right.
So they speak French, and they just have an air about them that doesn't seem African to me. They seem more European.
Yeah. I can see that.
Lots of fake designer clothes.
I have a couple of Moroccan friends, and they kind of,
lots of fake designer clothes, and lots of name brands. It seems odd, like you see people in Jordans and Gucci and this designer, that designer. I'm like, where are we? It was odd. It was just very odd to me. And some of them wouldn't even speak English, even if they could. It was like, if you don't speak French, we're not communicating with you. Very interesting. And for the most part, they were pleasant, But,
I definitely.
It was a nice airport.
That,
but yeah, that was the vibe, and I was like, this is different to still be in Africa and be experiencing this. It was different.
Did you find a lucrative business, and was it hard?
Oh, there was so many. Listen, there's so many business opportunities. It really depends on like what your interest is. But for me, you have to get your feet on the ground to see what the needs are. Like, you can't go thinking this is what I want to do. You have to go thinking about what do people need, and how can I bring in money? Because you can't depend on, obviously, the local people for the money. You may have to depend on tourists for the money. You have to think about all of that. But transportation, and I've said this like 100 times. I feel like I've said it 100 times. Transportation is a big deal. They don't have enough transportation for everyone. They just don't. Not the children,
even
not
with
the adults.
All the trotros, jellies, and
it's not enough, because you will still see people standing on the road, on the side, trying to get a ride, trying to get someplace to go.
Infrastructure, like subways and things like that.
For sure, I didn't see any subways. Look, well, we don't have a subway here, so I don't even know what to say about that. But there's no subway in Pennsylvania, not in Reading, Pennsylvania. We have the Pennsylvania Railroad.
See, I'm a city girl.
Yeah, we have the Pennsylvania Railroad here that brings like coal from the mountains type thing, you know. But there's no subway here.
Okay. Do you feel you had any challenges in any way due to cultural differences?
I didn't actually. we got so much love from the continent. Like, people were just warm and welcoming, and not just in the Gambia, but in Ghana. Like, sisters were like, "You're so pretty. I love your complexion." I'm like, "You're beautiful. Like, I'm trying to look like you. I need a little more sun." And yeah, and when you said that, they seemed surprised. I think so. I think they did, and I found that interesting. I think they did, and I just was like, "No, you're beautiful. So like, I love your complexion."
If they consider you light, what do you think they consider me?
Let's see, bronzed. I don't know. We're going to be polite with that one, right? They do, though. They're kind of big on color. Some of the sisters are really hung up on color. You see them bleaching and doing different things and, grabbing for their wigs. It's like 90 degrees. Who's grabbing for a wig? Like, I'm like, no, please don't. Don't do that. You're beautiful. You don't need that. And the makeup and all the extra, like, I'm just like, how do you do it in the heat? I just don't get it. And the wigs, like, it's just extra.
Right.
It makes me hot looking at them. Yeah. You see me sitting here hot flashing, cold flashing. I can't even imagine kind of like feeling like you have to do that.
A hat on your head in the heat. And the African heat, please share that African heat, because it's a special kind of heat.
It is. It's a different kind of heat. It's something like you mist over. You don't even realize you're sweating because it's not that dripping sweat. Like Gambia was cold. Gambia was cold to me. If you see the video I did when I was leaving, I was on the rooftop. You can hear the wind blowing. You can see the trees moving. And I'm like, it is really cold. So Gambia was different for me because morning and nights are very cold. And I see why people have jackets there and shawls and different things like that. Sierra Leone, the nights were beautiful. They just were like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a calmness, and it's kind of humid, but it's not hot. It's not hot. Like, I was in a room that I don't even think we ran the air conditioner. I don't recall running the air conditioner in Sierra Leone. We just used the fans. The fans were enough. Gambia, same thing. We used the fans.
That's nice.
And in Ghana,
I needed the AC in Ghana.
Fan. Same thing with Ghana. Fan. Yeah, it was a fan there as well. Kumasi was the same way. Kumasi, I think we might have used the air, but Kumasi's up in the mountains, so that was a little different too.
That's one of the things that I liked about Ethiopia. We didn't have a AC in the house. We just had the windows, and we didn't even have like windows with the glass. It was just kind of like you open it. It was a big hole. So the air was able to circulate. The air was able to circulate. Yeah. It wasn't hot. Ethiopia was weird. Like, if you were standing outside and the sun hits your skin, you feel the heat. Yes. But the second you put an umbrella, that's why when you see in Ethiopia people walking with umbrellas, the second you're under even the umbrella, you're instantly. And then at night, it goes from 100 degrees and 50 degrees. It drops. Yeah. It drops really quick. So we will find ourselves when we'll be out. I would have, like, on my girls, I would have some corduroys and a sweater, a t-shirt, and then a sweater, and then I would have another jacket wrapped around the and then as the night was dropping, they would slowly they had their layers on. They would put their layers on. So that's why I was like, oh, that's why they dress like very layer like, and you see like all this hot clothes because it's hot during the day but cold at night. My question, as a Cass City, do you travel during COVID? I did. I was on the continent from December 3rd to January 9. Okay. So everyone, this is Sister AnjaAfreeca. Go follow her channel. I want to thank you for watching this video. This is going to be a 2-part video, okay? We've been going at it since earlier. This is part 2 of Global Green Book with Sister AnjaAfreeca. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
That's just hard for me to be honest. I'm like, I need something more.
Oh, wait a minute. This is jackfruit. The star of the family.
That was shady.
Elijah, I don't know when I'm going to get to do this video for you, but I'm just proud of you. I am. I love that you are independent, and I'm here for it. So I just love to see this in my lifetime, and I pray for nothing but prosperity for you, my son. MashaAllah. I love you, son.